Imagine if they did that to you in your apartment or home. Show up at midnight and just say, come outside, give me your name and birthday. We try treating people who are living in tents, who are experiencing homelessness, like human beings, like your neighbors, like your family.
There was two.
The vacate notice came from the city. So the private property owner made a complaint. The city distributed that to people, gave 48-hour notice, and then they put up another vacate order near the encampment.
We were here a couple of weeks ago, and you said you had not been in touch with the city. They weren't responding to you. Have you spoken with them lately?
I personally haven't spoken with them recently. I mean, the usual claim is we're sending people, they're going to help people find housing, they're going to help people get into shelter. The city sent one caseworker with the police, as if that's going to be enough to find people housing. No, they're not going to find much of anything for people because they did nothing themselves to try to create housing or to try to create at least rapidly deployable shelter.
Do you know how many people are still living here?
Well, lots of people have left in the last 24 hours, so there's probably about a dozen people left. At one time, there were probably 40 to 50 people living here.
I've heard that there's been some people who've been here for years. Do you have any idea what spurred the change for the vacate after people have been here for up to 4 years?
I think there were some complaints from people in the neighborhood, and that got the city's attention, and that's when they started to threaten that they were going to remove people. And then we came and called attention to what was going on, and that certainly has delayed the eviction, which is a good thing because it gives people some more time to find alternatives.
This is private property. Who owns it?
Someone named Topolian, so I'm not sure who that is. We don't really know who that person is.
Question. The city is about to spend a significant amount of resources in just a few weeks at something called PVD Fest, which a lot of folks are looking forward to. Why is it possible to garner those type of resources for an issue like that, yet this exists just blocks away from the outer portion of the festival?
I don't think the city really cares about people who are experiencing homelessness. They've done nothing to show that they do. I think they jump on the not in my backyard bandwagon, and they think that gets them more votes.
You talked about the requests that you guys have made about the rapid deployable things like that. Has the city responded to any of those, or is it all gone unanswered when you bring these up?
We made 3 demands. One was to find city buildings where we could have shelter beds. They said there were no suitable buildings for that. I'm not sure I believe that, but that's what they told us. We also said, do not bring in the police until there are viable alternatives for people. These people have nowhere to go. So we said, hold people harmless, instead provide dumpsters, provide porta potties until you're offering legitimate alternatives to living in a tent. They never responded to that demand at all in any way. Obviously because they wanted to clear the encampment and don't care what happens to people. The third demand was to find sites for and to order rapidly deployable shelter. They said they were interested in that idea and would consider doing it, but they've done nothing in that regard. I would suggest you all ask the mayor what he's done with regard to rapidly deployable shelter.
What was that conversation about the rapid deployable shelter?
This goes back to May. So we were aware of this problem for months, and a lot could have been done during this time, and nothing was done. No?
What would your message be to the people of Providence about the situation?
Call your city councilor, call the mayor's office and say, we care about people who are experiencing homelessness, and we expect you to provide alternatives to living in tents before you clear the encampment.
Those main conversations, were those by email, in person?
In person. Oh, we had a meeting with the mayor. That's to his credit. But he's done nothing to follow up. They'll say, oh, we're trying to provide storage facilities, we're trying to provide housing and shelter. We don't believe it.
You said that there have been some people leaving, in the last 48 hours or so, some people starting to leave right now again this morning. Do you know where they're going?
This is one of the problems that we have outreach workers. Some of them are here today, and they're really angry because now they're going to lose touch with the people they've been working with. So they can't follow up on the people's needs because they're scattered everywhere. This is the way this always seems to go in Rhode Island. Yeah, I'm asking people who live here, Rhode Island residents, care about this and tell your elected officials to do something about it. Don't just clear encampments and act like people are trash.
Sir, there's been, since the winter, a steady stream of bulldozing of encampments.
Yeah.
Started out first at the State House, then quickly followed by Woonsocket, soon to be Providence, Cranston, the stadium, all over the place. Have you ever seen any municipality engage in any sort of follow-up other than to load people up on transportation and drop them somewhere?
I mean, the one exception would be Pawtucket, where they've set up a shelter that's 24/7, to deal with the heat and the cold.
1139 North Main Street.
That's right. And that's the one case where the mayor actually seemed to care about the people who are homeless in his city. That's the only one I can think of.
You've been doing this work for a long time. How has the sentiment around encampments and clearing them, raiding them, evicting people changed over the years?
I think it's something that's more recent because we never had this many people outside prior to COVID. Once COVID happened, there were obviously economic impact of that, so people couldn't pay rent. People couldn't double up with friends and family because of COVID. And we had, at one point, 500 people outside. We're still at 440. That's the latest number of people who are living, as we put it, in a place not meant for human habitation. So that's why we have many more raids on tent encampments, because we have many more tent encampments. That's what's involved.